Sorry about all these videos being dark. It is winter, and in England, even in the summer, we only have sunshine for about 3 minutes a day. Alright, it is another crossover, and this one is a lot longer than 6 chapters. This is DC, Days of Future's End. This here is issue 0, aka issue 1, aka the free comic book day giveaway, aka the first part of the story that is essential to understand the plot of this crossover. This came out during the New 52, and it was DC doing an event maxi series that comes out weekly. This is a trick that they have been doing since about 2007. They did it on and off. Fun fact, I have never made it to the end of any of their weekly series. This one is also famous, to me at least, for being the comic that Martin Quaid decided to use to offer up his petty opinions on DC and DC's management, and accused this of just ripping him off since he was a co-writer on the original weekly series that DC did, the 5-2. People might think I am just saying this to spite Martin Quaid, but I honestly quite like this. I thought it was the strongest start to any of the weekly DC books I have read. I will admit, I happily never read a single bit of the Kurt Busey one, but the 5-2 and the countdowns, this starts off better than both of them. We are 25 years into the future, and things are dystopian, and they are so dystopian that evil Nathan Van Scribbler, the Nazi playboy artist, he has drawn the art. The world, it has been taken over by the Borg from Star Wars, and now the resistance, because there is always a resistance, it is attempting a last-ditch gambit to try and save the world. Here we have the Flask, boring Barney Allen, and Friggy Man, and didn't get attached to either of them because they are both very quickly dispatched by the Borg. We have a Borg version of Wonder Woman and a Borg version of Swallow from Spit and Swallow. These are creepy designs. I like these are cool. And then Friggy Man, he has his hands cut off, and then he is assimilated. And then boring Barney Allen, he is killed by a Borg version of Frankenstein's monster, who has My Girlfriend Canary's head on his chest, and he uses it to scream at Barney Allen and kill him. She's probably screaming, "You are boring!" It is a bit graphic and dark and miserable, but it's meant to be. It's meant to be a crappy, grim future. I didn't think it's really trying too hard to be edgy or violent or whatever. It is just trying to show that this world is shit. The Borg have taken over and won. And one criticism I would have is that most of this issue is spent just killing things rather than actually building a story or a character up. Here we have Green Lanterns and Blue Beetles. Again, didn't get attached. They both quickly die. They die so quickly, It isn't even worth clarifying which versions of Blue Beetles or Green Lanterns they are. But look, there is a Borg Superman. And then another thing we have is art changes. Are you ready for a sudden change of artists? There is plenty of that in this 16-page comic. 5 artists for a single 16-page story. That is terrible in my opinion. Giffen and Amy Hurst, they are trying to infiltrate the Borg factory and deactivate their power, but then they both die, and we have another art change as we finally settle down with what I assume is the crossover's main character, Beyond Batman. Him and Batman are in the Batman cave, and they are working on a plan to defeat the Borg once and for all. It involves time travel, another art change, and the plan is for them to go back in time and kill the person responsible for the Borg invasion, which I think is Mr. Terrificals. And I know that this is meant to be an alternative future and the world has changed and everything is grim and dark. But I still didn't like the idea of Batman condoning killing anyone, even in these circumstances. The way to approach Batman is that he doesn't kill. Don't try to come up with a story where you can find a clause or a loophole or an exception to that rule. And our final art change is to that prat who blocked me on Twitter. And I think he does the most pages in this comic. The 2 Batmans, they get attacked by some more of the Borg. And would you guess, one of them dies. Batman, he loses an arm. The Borg slice it off. So now it is up to Beyond Batman to carry out this plan all by himself. He needs to travel back in time and fix things. But one thing I do like is Batman, he tells Beyond Batman not to go to the Batman of the past for any help, because Batman of the past would never agree with Beyond Batman about killing Mr. Terrificals. So Beyond Batman, he travels to the past, but the thing is, he got the dates wrong and he has arrived too late. The events that led to the Borg takeover are already in effect. What is he going to do to get out of this one? I might find out, because I also have issue 1. I don't think there is much story here. There is definitely no character. But what it did do is set up a premise that I can see myself or someone else buying into. It has potential. I don't know if it meets that potential. But based on this, I would be inclined to point my finger at this if someone asked us which of the weekly series I had the most patience for. I thought the 5-2 was boring most of the time. The countdowns is a total mess. I never read the Batman one. This one at least gets off to a good start. It immediately jumps in. There's no fannying around. I'm giving this a 7 thumbs up.